How can your action, personal, private actions, save the world or help the world with climate change specifically? Now, this is how. There are 3 points that we're going to discuss here on how personal actions are important in this fight against climate change, in this fight against environmental degradation and all issues environment. Okay? Now, there are 3 points that we're going to discuss in depth of how personal action is important in any situations that you want to change. And here now, personally, I'm going to refer, or this will be in relation to climate change. You could refer this, or you could use the same principles and points in other life issues. For example, we are in a world or in a country where corruption is a thing. We have normalized corruption. Then how can you be a corruption-free person in the society that is full of corruption? And how can your personal activities, personal behaviors, personal actions and decisions make an impact in the society? So one of them, especially now on the climate change, is that the amount of personal or private carbon footprint is really disturbing. The amount of greenhouse gases we produce as an individual is really high, and of course we need to act. So that is one reason why your personal action is important in this game. In the video that I'm going to link up here, where we are looking at what is carbon footprint, and also in another video where we are looking at how can you as an individual reduce the amount of greenhouse gas that ends up into the atmosphere and can be accounted to you. We talked about 19 tons of carbon of greenhouse gases adding up into the atmosphere per person per year. That is the recent research that has been done. On average, every human being in this globe produces 19 tons of these gases per year. Now that is really big number. And remember, we also said it has been suggested that to be able to reverse climate change, where we are not in a good position, and to be able to reverse this, we have to reduce the carbon footprint of each person from 19 to 0, or at least 2 tons per year. Of course, it is not possible to be at 0 ton per year, but at least it is possible to be at around 2. That is the only way we are going to reverse the climate change that is happening and that is going to be worse in the near future. So then that is a reason that you as a person need to start taking action. You do not need to wait for anything else. Such information is enough to get you worried, is enough to get you started on personal actions, personal behavioral change, personal mindset change. We need to shift our mindset, we need to shift our perspectives, we need to change on how we do things by just that information. We as a person, or in your day-to-day activities, can you track the amount of gases that you produce into the atmosphere and see how big the number is? And of course, that is now disturbing. You need to start taking action. If not for any other reason, that should be enough to get you started. The other point is that the micro dictates the macro. How is this going to be in the environment area or in climate change? The micro dictates the macro. What does this mean? It means micro here is my action, in this case towards climate change or towards this fight against climate change. So my personal action, my micro actions, are the ones that are going to dictate the micro ones, the macro ones. My micro action is going to dictate the macro behavior, all the macro actions. Okay, so how does this come? Let's take an example of the people that we vote for. For example, we have the president, the senators, the governors, the women rep, we have the MCAs, the people we vote in for. Of course, they go into leadership to serve us. In most cases, they do serve us. But it is our votes. We give them the power to do what they have to do. We have seen the elections that have been there in the United States of America. We have seen a president who didn't care about climate change. We have seen a president who was there before who really cared about climate change, that is Barack Obama. We have seen a president who has come in who is promising, always willing to tackle climate change. So these are people we have given power that are supposed to serve us. So then, what I mean by micro is my personal behaviors, my personal actions. How about us in a workplace, as employees? How about as citizens? How about if we started taking actions towards climate change? How about us as consumers decided we are going to get products and services from producers who are environmental conscious? Don't you think they would have to shift the way they do things? If we decided we as a people are going to only elect leaders who are true in this fight against climate change, then the leaders will have no alternative other than to provide us with the services that we need because we give them power to serve us. But what do we do instead? For example, here, we give them the power and we forget, we let them use the power as they can be able to use. We do not even realize how much our constitution has given us power to act as the public. I have done a video on public participation, the importances of public participation when it comes to development projects. I'm going to link that video here so that you can also watch on that and get something. The Constitution, EMCA, that is the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, also really gives the public a lot of power to decide on which projects they want in their areas. We have seen projects that have been stopped after the community or the public brought out complaints. So it is just in the beginning. How about now we became really active on this? How about we as the people decided what we want, decided on leaders that we want, not necessarily in the political world. How about even in schools? Like, for example, what principles do you want in your school as students? For example, in your family, if you were the kids in the family, how about you tell your parents what you want to do? And this is in relation to the fight against climate change. How about if we, the people, decided what we want? The more employees decided talking about this or having these conversations on climate change, telling your bosses what you want, of course, should be environmental conscious. And remember, environmental friendly business could be expensive initially, but at the end of it all, they tend to be more cheaper and more profitable. Remember, right now, people, a large majority of people are shifting towards brands, companies, and producers who are environmental conscious. Isn't that a micro decision that is going to dictate the macro? Because you cannot compare my carbon footprint to the carbon footprint of a company like Coca-Cola. You can't. Obviously, theirs is very high. How about me as their customer decided I do not need to drink Coca-Cola that is packed in a plastic bottle. Then it means they will realize in their cells people are drinking more from the glass recyclable bottles as compared to the plastic, so they will have to reduce. And that way, by our micro action as the people, the small forces, we join together, and the big giants have to change to accommodate us. You get what I'm saying? Am I making sense here? Are you getting what I'm saying? Like the micro, small decisions are the ones that are going to change or big macro results. If you as a person cannot take action, how do you expect your neighbors or your chief or even your MCA to talk about climate change if you people cannot even accommodate talks on climate change? How do you expect your president to be environmental conscious and also to support environmental conscious projects and groups if you people cannot be able to accommodate him, accommodate the projects, if you people are not supporting him, whereas you're the people who give him the power to be the president, the power to be the MCA, the powers to be the chief, the power to be the village elders? How? So it starts from us, and that is the micro. It starts from me, from my friends, from my village mates, from my schoolmates, from my work colleagues. All of us together form a big team that is now going to fight this. So that is another reason that you need to take action as an individual, because it is the micro actions that defines or dictates the macro actions or decisions or results. All right? So, to the third one. The third point is of why you need to take action as an individual against this fight, the climate change fight, is because of the ripple effect. What is this, you ask? This is whereby, for example, you have seen a dam or a pond of water maybe along the road or something, water that is very still. If you throw something inside that water, say a stone, there is going to be ripples that are going to form, those circles that move and they go outward from where you threw the stone outward. That ripple effect, now when it comes to climate change and other big issues that we have in the society, if I as a person take action, if I decide that my life is now going to be environmental friendly, if, for example, I decide I am going to take action against corruption, if I decide I'm going to take action against racism, if I personally decide that now I'm only going to buy from brands that are environmental friendly, only those brands that take care of the environment or give back to the society, these are the people I'm going to support. If we decide we are going to only support politicians or leaders who are environmental conscious, then what happens is that me, personally, I have decided to be this person. Then remember, we human beings are a social being. Everyone has an urge to belong. We are told you are an average of your friends, an average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with people who are really positive minded, slowly but surely your mindset starts to shift, because of course they have an effect on your mindset, and you're going, of course, to shift towards their mindset. So, and the vice versa is true. If you're the positive one, then most probably you're going to shift the mindset of the people or the friends that you have around you, and slowly but surely they are going to change and become positive minded at least. The same thing happens if I decide to be environmental friendly in my actions, in my behaviors, in my jobs, in the way I do my things. Most probably I'm going to infect a neighbor, infect a friend, infect a brother or a sister, or even my parents to be environmental conscious. Like we are a social being. We want to be together. The same now thing happens when it comes to climate change. If I start to change the way I do things and become more environmental friendly, the people around me unconsciously are going to take up these habits, take up these energies, and also they'll find themselves being more environmental friendly. So that is another reason you need to shift your mindset, need to shift your perspective. That is why you need to start being environmental friendly. Okay? So that one is a good one because you're going to infect your people, infect the people around you without even realizing. They will not even realize that you got them into these habits. So this is it is how it starts. It starts with me. My kids will realize, my spouse will realize, my colleagues will realize, my neighbors will realize, and of course with time somebody will like what I'm doing, they will start doing. They will also attract people around them. I'm going to continue attracting more and more people, and the people I attract to my new behavior of being environmental conscious are also going to attract more people, and with time we will have a community that is now environmental conscious. Is that not winning the fight against climate change? So the ripple effect is important. In any other thing that you want to do, the same can apply. But in this case, we talk about climate change of these talks. So have these talks every now and then. I said I'm just going to give these 3 points. We're going to continue this talk down in the comment section or on my social media platforms. If you think there are more other reasons that you need to take action as an individual, then please let's share down in the comment section so that we can see. I'm also eager to hear what you have to say on this fight against climate change by personal or private actions. I'll see you in the next one, but if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, subscribe now for more good and educative videos. See you next time.